Alhamdulillah, salatu salam ala Rasulillah. I intended to talk about a verse from Surah An-Nisa, which is عاشروهن بالمعروف فإن كرهتموهن فعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. And its effect on 3 generations from the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu all the way to his grandson. There are beautiful stories associated with it, and subhanAllah, the Imam today, he recited a verse from the Quran, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. From his signs or from his miracles is that he created for you from amongst yourselves, your spouses, husbands and wives, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you could have peace by being with them. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And it is he who puts mawadda, it's a deep love. And from it is the word al-wadud, which is one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wud means this really deep love and affection that only exists between a husband and wife. And al-wadud, it is one of the attributes of Allah, which means very deeply loving. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is deeply loving. He is the one, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. It is He who puts that mawadda in that relationship, and He puts mercy in that relationship. So, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is putting that love and mercy in that relationship, it only makes sense that first and foremost, within the confines of the household, we try to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as possible and do not disobey Him. The more we obey Him, the more His mercy will descend upon the household. The more we disobey Him, the more His mercy will be removed from the household, and this will result in discord and arguments and fighting between each other. And this is again something which is related to Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ, he made i'tikaf, and he used to make i'tikaf every year to find out when Laylatul Qadr is. And one day he emerged from the tent in which he used to spend the night, and he saw 2 people arguing. He saw 2 people fighting with each other, and he said that I was about to tell you when Laylatul Qadr is, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had informed me, but when I saw these 2 people arguing, that knowledge was removed from me, it was taken away from me. So now you seek it in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. And he also said that maybe this is better for you, that you don't know when it is, so that you make more effort in trying to seek it and find it. So the point is that when there is fighting and discord between each other within the household or between brothers or within a community, this becomes the means of khair being removed from that community or that household. So we have to make sure that we stay away from these kinds of arguments and fighting, so that that khair remains within the household or within the community. So, as I was saying, I wanted to mention this verse, عَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, and the effect that it had upon 3 generations from Umar, the most famous of the Sahaba, Umar ibn Khattab, the 2nd Khalifa, and his son, Abdullah ibn Umar, and which extended to Salim ibn Abdullah, the son of Abdullah ibn Umar, and how this verse affected them. There's a story which is related about a person that went to the house of Umar radiallahu ta'ala to complain about his wife. And he was about to tell Umar radiallahu ta'ala that she's just too argumentative, and she's always, having debates with me, and she's trying to fight with me. So what should I do about her? So when he went to the house of Umar, he was not there, and they basically met at the doorway of the house. He was coming, and this person was trying to meet Umar at the same time. So he said, just wait, let me go inside for a minute, and I'll come out and see you in a minute. So as Umar radiallahu ta'ala went inside, he heard the wife of Umar radiallahu ta'ala starting to argue with Umar. And she was taking a long time in arguing, and Umar radiallahu ta'ala was not saying anything back. So this person thought to himself that I came to complain about my problem, and it seems that the Khalifa, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he has exactly the same issue. So he said, better that I just go away. So he started to go away. In the meantime, Umar radiallahu ta'ala who came out, said, "Oh, Fulan, where are you going? You came to see me and now I see that you're going away. What's the problem?" He said, "Oh Umar, oh Amir al-Mu'mineen, I came with this problem and I saw that you also are having the same issue. So, I think that it seems like it's an ongoing thing. It's something that we really cannot do anything about." So Umar radiallahu ta'ala responded to him and said something that is something thought-provoking for all of us. He said that why not? Why shouldn't I put up with this kind of attitude from her? She washes my clothes, she cooks my food, she bakes my bread, and she feeds my children, she breastfeeds my children. And she becomes the means of me from staying away from haram. So why should I not put up with some things from her? So the person responded back to Umar saying, "You know what? The same thing applies to my wife. She does all the same things. She cooks my food and she bakes my bread and she washes my clothes." So Umar radiallahu ta'ala said, "Then why not put up with her? It's a short time. It's a short lifespan. So put up with her and see the good and disregard the bad that is in her and the fact that she's argumentative. Disregard that and look at the good that is within her." So this is the story, this is the first story which is related to the verse "Ashiruhunna bil ma'ruf," deal with them in a good way. فَإِن كَرِهْتُمُوهُنَّ, if there's something that you dislike about them, فَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. If you dislike something about them, then maybe you dislike something and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put a lot of khair within that thing, a lot of good within that thing. And this is again part of a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said that, when you are dealing with your wives and you dislike something about them, then focus on something that is good about them. There are always good attributes in all people. There are obviously bad attributes and bad habits that everyone has. I have and you have, but maybe we have also a lot of good habits. And the same thing applies to our wives. No human being is perfect, but everyone has good qualities, and especially in a relationship where the husband and wife are so close and are living in close confines with each other, it's important to make sure that the positive is looked at rather than the negative. When a person focuses on the negative too much, then it becomes a means of hatred growing in his heart, and that results in problems within the relationship. So now going on to Abdullah ibn Umar. Abdullah ibn Umar was the son of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he was having problems in his relationship one day. And to kind of cool off from the situation and to kind of get his mind straight and to think things over, thinking that should I divorce this woman or what should I do? He is walking along the street and he hears somebody reciting this verse, "Ashiruhunna bil ma'ruf," deal with them in a good way. If you dislike something about them, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put a lot of khair in them. So he thought that this is some kind of guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for me. And he went home and he forgot about that situation that he was in, and he decided to keep her as his wife. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had ordained for them to have a child. She became pregnant and she had a child, a boy, whose name was Salim ibn Abdullah ibn Umar. Salim ibn Abdullah ibn Umar. And this Salim became one of the most prominent muhaddith of his time. And whenever Abdullah ibn Umar used to look at him, he used to say, "Sadaqallah, Sadaqallah." Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the truth. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the truth. And his qualities, Salim ibn Abdullah's qualities and his status was such amongst the muhaddithin that Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she liked his company and she liked to spend time with him, and he was one of the main narrators from her, one of the main narrators from Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha directly, and also obviously he narrated hadith from his own father, the son of Umar ibn al-Khattab, Abdullah ibn Umar. So his connection with the most prominent Sahaba, it makes him one of the most prominent of the muhaddithin. And his life and his simplicity, and his connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his taqwa, have all been mentioned in great detail in the books of the Rijal that talk about the narrators of hadith, and he's really amongst the most prominent from them. So the moral of the story is that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said was that if you dislike something about them, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put khair in them and He has put good in them, and you're not aware of it, but that khair is in there. So look at the good. If you don't see the good right now, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show you that good in the future. So again, عاشروهن بالمعروف, deal with them, deal with the women in a good way. فإن كرهتموهن, if you dislike them, فعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا, maybe you dislike something, ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in it a lot of khair, a lot of good. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq to understand and practice what has been said and heard.